All righty, here we go. We've got this episode here with Philip Anthony Kelly, and I know you were interviewed on his show, so it felt like you were bringing in a friend to the studio. Like you had this beautiful story that you shared during the episode where you were live with him, I believe at the Twin Cities Pride Parade?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where I met him.
It was a really fun and heartwarming episode. And, you know, I think that people have the experience that they can't help but like Philip. I just think he kind of exudes that energy. So I really invite everyone to check out this episode. Philip actually has a show or a podcast at AM 950. You can find it. It's called the
Downright Upright Show.
The Downright Upright Show. And that's the deal with Philip. Go check it out.
This was a good one. And by the way, he has a little bit of a crush on Brian. So you guys get to experience this. Hey, this is a great show. Check it out. Come build a routine and stay in shape this holiday season with Strains of the Earth Sanctuary. We have yoga for all levels, meditation retreats, sound healing, events, and more to help you find your zen. Come join us in Jordan, Minnesota, and treat yourself to a holiday season filled with relaxation and rejuvenation. Sign up for your next class online now at mnsotesanctuary.com. That's mnsotesanctuary.com. Do you or someone in your family suffer from nightmares? Is your home cluttered and you can't seem to clear it out? Your home or office may have low vibrational energy, and it could be impacting you and your family. Using the ancient techniques of dowsing, Master Dowser Annette Regalo can raise the vibration of your home or office by identifying and curing stress lines and negative vortexes that may be creating disharmony in your home or office. Annette has over 20 years of dowsing experience and is passionate about creating high vibrational spaces for others to live and work. Contact Annette today at 612-394-3736 or AnnetteRegalo.com to schedule your free dowsing consultation. When you transform the energy of your environment, you transform your life. Remember, that's AnnetteRegalo.com. AnnetteRegalo.com.
Welcome to the Being Curious Show. I'm Brian Mariani, founder of No Shift Own.
And I'm Kelly Wagner, publisher of Edge Magazine. Our show is about curiously connecting teachers and seekers on a wide range of topics in a safe space. Few topics will be off limits, and we have some amazing guests to share with you.
Our intention is that our conversations will spark your own curiosity to create a life that lights you up and inspires you to be kind, thoughtful, open-minded to yourself and others.
So, Brian, what are you curious about today?
Wow, here we go. You know, today's been a lot of fun. You know, we've had a lot of studio time today. We're jamming. It's been good energy vibes today, I would say. And so I'm most curious. I know that you came in with your special green drink, which has you all jazzed up. Is that all you've had today? Because it's like getting on in the day. It's not like
coffee.
Have you eaten anything?
No, I just have had my coffee. But I have like probiotics and dynamic greens and all that stuff. Right? But I should probably eat something. I'm trying to have an apple. Every day. Like, right?
Keeps the doctor away.
And I've been saying that.
That's the saying.
You should have told me, because my husband has been growing apples like wildfire.
Oh,
so I would have brought you like a huge bag if you wanted. Next time I see you, I'll bring you.
Okay.
For all our international fans, you can tell this show is in the Midwest because of how
I said bag,
our guest said bag.
I can go back to my New York accent. Bag.
Okay, there you go.
That's a really good combination. New Yorker /
Oh, God,
Minnesotan.
what an awful accent I have now, because it's half Minnesotan and half New York. It's crazy.
It's brilliant. Kelly knows this about me. the only way I made it through the pandemic, I entertained myself by becoming, at least I thought that I was somewhat funny in a number of different accents. And I would literally just do it for my own entertainment and for like those few times that I was around my family. So I love accents. So
me too.
I think it's quite good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kelly, you surprisingly have almost no accent. I never get to make fun of you, really.
What's interesting is I've traveled all over the country, and no one nails that I'm from Minneapolis, which is funny.
I would never.
I'm just like,
Yeah, you don't say big.
Big.
Does your husband have an accent?
Not really.
I didn't think he did, really. You guys are like just interesting that way.
We're just interesting that way. That's it, right?
Speaking of interesting,
Yes.
we have a guest on our show.
We do have a guest in. He's already jumped in.
I'm sorry.
We have Philip Anthony, and he also has a show. But he's exceptionally interesting. He's a lot of fun. We had a blast even before we started the show live. So Kelly, do you have anything? I know you've been on his show actually, so maybe you want to say a few things about that before we jump in.
Absolutely. It is the Downright Upright show. It is a podcast here in the AM 950 family.
Soon to be a show,
Soon
hopefully.
to be a show. Cross your fingers.
Yeah, we're in the pipeline.
It is.
Yeah.
You just have to make it happen. It's just
It'll happen.
Right? It's happening. It's already happening. There we go.
Hope so.
Absolutely. And Philip and I met at Pride, and he at the AM 950 booth, and I came to volunteer with my daughter. And Philip was doing like these beautiful man on the street interviews, and really touching. Like, people were like lining up to share time and space with you, and you really held sacred space for everybody that you interviewed. And it was just really engaging and fun to watch and be a part of. And it made me want to be on your show and have you on ours. And
Thank you
right,
so much.
it was, you just did such a beautiful, abs. In Pride in Minneapolis is, and I'm sure with cities all around the world and not in the country and the world, it's a powerful experience. There's a lot of energy, and there's a lot of just extremes at that at that space, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of joy, a lot of freedom, there was just so much going on, and you, with such authenticity and integrity, were holding space for these people, and they were lining up to have a couple moments with you.
Oh my goodness, you're so amazing.
Oh my gosh. So I encourage, definitely go to the AM 950 radio, and then check out the Downright Upright show, and then you can, I think it's the Pride episode, and it's just it's a really good episode.
I did 2 Pride episodes.
Oh, did you? Well, you probably had so much content to all the people you're talking to.
Yeah, I did Bloomington Pride.
Oh my gosh.
And I did Twin Cities Pride. So there's 2 shows if you are interested in hearing. And you know, the thing that really struck me, and I think it struck you as well when you were there with me, was people saying they came to Minnesota to be free, to be themselves, to be their authentic selves, because in some states they can't be who they are.
Who was the pastor of the church that was a friend of yours, and he showed
Patrick,
up?
Yeah.
He just, like I just loved his message. I loved what he was doing and how he was doing it, and I just, like, he made me want to go to church. Like,
he's going to be on my show soon too. I can't say the A word, right? Can I?
No, we have to be good.
Okay.
No George Carlin 7.
The 7 words. Well, the reason I'm saying it is because
he said it strategically beautifully.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He says all Christians are not blanks.
And just insert any word you want to, because you really could.
And this is a pastor saying this, so it was amazing, right?
Right. I mean, he had me there. Like, he had me. I was like, where is your congregation? Where? I need to follow you now. Because it was awesome.
He has a sense of humor. He really does. Yeah.
He really does.
He's amazing.
You got to have a sense of humor.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so Brian asks a question to all of our guests. On the hot seat.
Yes.
Get ready.
Oh, boy.
Liza Minnelli keeps coming in. Her energy is just like,
hi, Liza.
Yeah, Liza is just coming in, like,
hi,
right? And I know she's
you.
with us still. It's just that, or maybe it's just her energy.
Yeah, she hasn't passed.
She hasn't passed yet. We want to keep her. We're going to keep Liza for a little bit longer. Like, just hey, out there. Brian has a question that he asks all of our amazing guests. And it's that time. Take a deep breath.
So, Philip, you're with us today, but there's obviously this amazing life that you've had up until this moment. And so as you look at who you are today, showing up on this show, can you reflect back on a curiosity or a moment in time that you can really reflect on that goes, oh, well, that's why I am who I am. That's what got me here today. Is there any significant moment or experience or just something that pops in that you'd like to share?
My goodness. Do you have a 2-hour show?
I was about to say, we have 14 minutes and go.
Oh, boy. I had the strangest life. I really have. I mean, I can go on and on and on about it. When I was 5, my dad died tragically. And from that moment on, I always felt a presence, like I always felt he had my back, basically. And there's stories I can go on and on about. But the one that I remember as a child was sleeping in the bed and waking up to go get something to drink or something. And in the room was this cloud. I think I told you this at Pride. It was like a mist. Can't explain it. At the time, my mother would say, you were dreaming, but I can't say I was dreaming because I was awake, And it was my father's face in this mist with a big, huge smile, no words spoken, just a face. And from that moment on, I always felt everything that happened in my life when, adversity struck, it always turned out to be good after that. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So I could go on and on, but I don't think you have a 2-hour show. So yeah.
So that was
where did you grow up?
That was a significant moment.
Yeah, and he died tragically too. I mean, he was killed. So I think the way he died may have been a contributing factor because some people that die naturally, they wouldn't come back in that way. I think. But I always felt some sort of a presence. I can't explain it. It's very, very hard to explain.
It's a knowing.
As you started to, grow up and become more conscious and develop your ideas around what you wanted to do and who you are, who you were, did that experience, how did that experience play a role? Was there a level of confidence that you had as you became an adolescent and a young man and going through life that, okay, that happened and because that's very rare. A lot of people don't walk through life with any amount of confidence, let alone, my dad's got my back and everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I could give you, can I give you one example?
Of course.
I mean, like I said, I don't have 3 hours, but so I lived when my mother remarried. She remarried a very abusive man. He was an alcoholic. He just was a horrible human being to me and my mom. And one day he had come home drunk, and he started getting a little violent and aggressive. But finally he passed out. And I remember that day having a wonderful dream that everything was going to be great, and I was going to have almost like this enlightenment, this change. My life was going to change. And he passed out he drank so much that night that he passed out on the floor. And then something happened to my mom. Normally she would be like, but she said, Philip, we got to get out of here now. And she packed my bags and her bags, and we took off, and I never saw him again. And that dream, with that feeling, came about me. And like I said, I always felt my dad was there doing something to help me. Because I kept saying, I don't want to be here. I can't live like this. I can't. It was awful, And it turned out to be great after that, as far as not having to see him again and be called these names and talked to that way. And there were many things he did that I don't want to get into, obviously. But it turned out to be amazing after that. Then my life opened up as like a flower, boing. And that's when I started becoming more confident in myself, because my self-esteem was terrible at that point.
I'm sure that he did not do anything for your self-esteem.
Not at all. No.
And your home is your safe space, and he wouldn't give that to you.
No.
And You remarried, right? So
He was my
He was
my
your
mother's
stepdad.
second marriage. Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that because you were not his own, he just had no kindness towards you. I can just kind of feel that energy around that. There was just no kindness.
Right, exactly, Kelly. And what happened was he saw the love my mother had for me. You know what I'm saying? And this is hard to say, but he was jealous.
Sure.
How could you be a man married to a woman be jealous of a child's love for their mother? I mean, mother's love for their child.
Because she had unconditional love for you, and she didn't have unconditional love for him.
Well, yeah.
No, yeah. That's what I get.
Well, yeah.
Right?
I mean, I don't know what she was thinking, but she kept going back to him after multiple incidents like that. But this one time when he passed out, I think maybe she got the courage at that point to say, I need to get my son out of here. Yeah. And that's what happened.
I need to get myself and my son, right?
Well, more me. I think she loved me so much, my mother. She was an amazing mother, and I miss her even to this day.
Yeah.
So, but to get me out, I think finally she finally realized this is my opportunity.
Yeah.
I need to go, and that was it.
That's amazing. So let's fast forward to your show. What inspired you to do the Downright Upright show? And it's a podcast, and you inspired me because you bring it all. You have your own microphone, your own this. You are just like
the traveling podcaster.
You could even without power, you just hit it. So tell us, what was the inspiration for the show?
Yeah, so I said this on a lot of shows that I was a guest on. So Ellie Krug, who has a show here, I had told her as well. It's the first show I appeared on, and she asked me the same question. And I back in 2020, there was a presidential election. There was a primary. The Democrats had a primary.
No, there wasn't. Just kidding.
As you know, my show is political.
I know.
Half political.
That's why I'm teeing you up.
Yeah. So anyway, get to the cut to the chase. I was at a Pete Buttigieg campaign event, and I was in the audience. I was just a spectator there, and this woman afterwards had come up to me, and she goes, "Hi, would you mind being on my podcast as and talking about Pete?" Because we were trying to promote his campaign. And I said, sure. And cut to the chase, she interviewed me with this beautiful podcast machine with the microphones like you saw, and
fancy.
The whole deal. She showed me how to use it because at that point I was curious, oh, wow, you can do that. And then when I went to the Blue State Ball, I spoke to Chad, who's the owner of the station. And
Let's just give a little high five to Chad.
Love Chad. Thank you, Chad. And I had mentioned it to him. I said, I think I could do this. I saw this lady do it, and she was having a little problems, but I think I can, because I'm very good with stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And he said, yeah, go for it. And I was floored. So I got the machine. I knew exactly what machine she had. She gave me the number and the model number and all that. And next thing you know, I had the show going. I got my guests. I started networking with people, and
so what's the premise of your show? I know it's political, but it's a little bit of you, a little bit of politics, a little bit of current events. Yeah. What else do you, because you go about an hour, correct?
Yes.
And it just flows.
Yeah. It's a really fun show. I love it because I learned from my guests. That's the thing I love about the show. All these people are just amazing people. They have so much to offer. I've had authors. I've had talk show hosts like you, Kelly. I've had politicians, everything, you name it, And so the one part of the show I talk about asking questions, like a biography, like you talk about yourself and your show or your book that you wrote or whatever, or your campaign. And then I talk about current events. Then it's opinion. Mm-hmm. And there's a part of the show called The Shift. Mm-hmm. Remember? Mm-hmm. And you make sure you say the F, right?
Yes, you have to say the shift.
Shift, because otherwise we have a problem if you don't say the F.
We have a problem with Chad. Chad gets mad at us if we don't do that.
And at that point, it's all you. You get this wonderful feedback from these guests because they want so badly to talk about current events and what's going on in the country. Because everybody's an idealist. Everybody wants the world to be, peachy keen and wonderful. And obviously there is a lot of people that are putting a dent in that, and they don't want that. They have their own reasons, and I don't want to go into that. But I think the show is an uplifting show. I think. I mean, I do talk about negative things, but then we talk about the positives of it as well.
Right.
And
you're very well prepared. You actually, so Brian, I'm being interviewed by him, and he has all of these notes, and he's studied and he's well versed. I'm like, oh gosh, I need to take notes from this guy. Like, oh my gosh, I am an amateur. I'm like, you just showed up prepared, and the way he welcomes his guests, and the way, I mean, I really invite everybody to check it out on am950radio.com, because it's really, you show up. You show up.
Thank you.
And you're willing to speak courageously about hot topics in a safe space. And that's really, really amazing.
Yeah, and
we need more of that.
Thank you so much. And there's so many things on the show that I'm passionate about. Excuse me. For example, LGBTQ issues, women's rights. Because even though I'm not a woman, I loved my mother so much, as you know from the talk before the beginning of the show. And I think women are being degraded right now in this society. We're trying to take away. This is the first time a Supreme Court ever took rights away from anybody. Yeah. Think about that. And women's health care is important. It's not a joke. And if you want to score political points, do it somewhere else, but don't do it on the backs of women.
Yeah.
So there are things like that I talk about, but I try to do it in an uplifting way where we can move forward and, hit the target.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I hope all of you out there do listen, and I'll try to uplift and try to get people to feel better about what's going on, and in good ways.
In good ways.
In good ways, yeah.
So important.
Absolutely.
Philip, I have to ask, what is behind the name? The Downright Upright show.
Oh, that's a great question, Brian. You're the first one to ask me that, so I'm glad to answer it. So I wanted something that would intertwine politics in with personal opinion to a little bit of humor. So I'm going to say this in a way that's going to make you laugh. So my logo on my show, if you've ever seen it, I'm just going to tell you what it is, and then you can figure it out. It's a down arrow that's red and a blue arrow that's up, and it's downright upright. You get it now?
I get it.
Did you get it?
I did.
And I thought it was
it's very clever.
I thought it was
very clever.
I thought it was quirky.
Well, you're saying a lot about your own beliefs without saying a word.
You put it. My goodness.
And we're done.
That's why Kelly is here, man. This is she's the best. She's the best. You got it right. I mean, I didn't want to have to go, negative things like, the Republicans think, they have all these other, Facebook pages about Trump things. No, I don't want to do that. I'm a positive person.
Right.
So I'm downright upright. And what that means is downright means you're very upright, meaning honest. And so that's what I wanted my show to be. But the quirky thing with the arrows I thought was cute. So yeah. They asked me what my logo was.
You need to make little mugs. Just kind of sit here and drink it.
Yeah, we should. And do you have Being Curious mugs?
I actually.
I want one.
I'm thinking about ordering them. It's in the pipeline.
There's a whole branding thing behind the scenes that is getting worked out.
Okay.
It's not quite ready.
Well, once I'm officially on the air, because right now I'm a podcast. Once I'm officially on, if everybody's listening, and I would love to have cups.
And we can be back on. You guys, this has already been 22 minutes. Like, can you believe? I know. Hello. And Patrick is keying the music. So what I want to do is I want to thank everyone for being on. I want to thank Philip Anthony for joining us and just having this awesome conversation.
Thank you so much.
Please check his podcast out, The Downright Upright Show, on am950radio.com. and be curious. And thank you. Thank you, Philip.
Thank you
Woohoo!
so
We
much.
did it.
Yay!
We'll see everybody soon.
Bye, everybody.
Attention, curious practitioners in the realm of transformative experiences, holistic wellness, intuitive guidance, and metaphysical arts. Are you ready to expand your horizons and take your practice to new heights? Join the Edge Partner Directory, where your expertise can shine and your services can transform lives. We are dedicated to creating a community of practitioners who are as curious and passionate as you are about guiding others on their journeys of self-discovery, healing, and growth. As a member of the Edge Partner Directory, you will connect with a network of like-minded practitioners who share your curiosity and passion for exploring the depths of human potential, and showcase your unique offerings to a diverse audience of seekers actively looking for transformative experiences here, there, and everywhere. Embrace your curiosity and take the next step in your practice's journey to becoming an Edge partner. Learn more at edgedirectory.net. Again, go to edgedirectory.net.
Discover Strains of the Earth, your ultimate holistic destination. More than just a dispensary, we're ready to soothe your seasonal ailments as we're your haven for plant-based remedies. Drop by our Carver or Jordan locations or check us out online at strainsoftheearth.com. Want to explore the peaceful Strains of the Earth sanctuary in our Jordan location? We have yoga for all, meditation retreats, sound healing, events, and more to help you find your inner zen. We have everything you need for our harmonious holiday season. Find out what we have to offer at mnsotesanctuary.com. That's mnsotesanctuary.com. Strains of the Earth is your one-stop shop for all things holistic, from healing herbs to wellness practices. Stock up on your seasonal essentials and nurture your well-being with us.